the Rangers Journal now.
Good afternoon, everyone, and this is the Rangers Journal's pre-match discussion as Rangers take on St Mirren at the SMISA Stadium. I think I'm just prefer to call it Love Street because it's easier than that mouthful. I'm Jock, and I'm going to take Ryan, who's joining me today, through this quick run through of the game today. Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing fine, mate. I'm doing okay.
Good to hear it. So there's a lot been happening off the pitch since Rangers last played, which was up at Pittodrie, the 2-2 draw. The revolution is still buffering, as I say, because we're not anywhere near it yet, but it's been acknowledged now in the press. So we're getting there. But we'll have to make do with actual football today. So how do you think Rangers will approach the game, Ryan?
I think we've got to look to go out and a lot of guys are going to be playing with pride. We're playing for pride now. There'll be a lot of guys trying to work their ticket to get out of Rangers as well, so they'll be putting themselves in the shop window. There'll be a few guys out there that are actually playing to actually hopefully stay at the club. Yanis Hadji, for example, Jack Butland maybe as well. So there's no such thing as a meaningless match when you play for Rangers. Regardless of whether the competition's over or not, we still want to see our team get out and performing on the park and striving for victory. I certainly don't want to see us losing 3 times in a row to St Mirren. I don't think we've ever done that in our history, to be honest. I'm not aware of the statistics on that. So we've got to start putting these things to bed, so to speak.
To be fair, I think if that was something that was going to happen in our history, if Clement was still here, I'm sure he'd make sure that record was tarnished. Yeah. Barry's actually come out in the press there and said that he set the players a challenge to win all 5 split games. Do you think that's possible?
I don't see why not. Do you know that the toughest of the 5's at our home ground? So it'd be nice to wipe a smile off their face next Saturday if I'm being totally honest about that. So they'll be coming full of gloat. I'd like to see us, put them back in their place. But winning all 5 games, I don't see why not. There's nothing to stop us doing it.
Agreed. I think we've shown that we can do that, especially against the teams that are in the split. It's not something that's strange to us. I'm surprised that this game maybe wasn't shifted to 5:15, being an away game for Sky. I'm surprised Sky didn't pick this game up. The 3:00 kickoff away game and a 3:00 kickoff on a Saturday is a strange thing, really, for Rangers fans. With a massive injury list again, or a growing injury list, which is typical with us, seems to be busy all season. Rivvan's out for the end of the season. Balogun's he's got an operation. Lawrence isn't going to be here. Do you think this is going to impact the team that Barry's going to put out?
I think it's going to force his hand to go to a back 4. I don't think there's enough quality in the centre half departments and covering right back to be able to play the back 3 that he's started to kind of favour himself towards. So I think you're probably going to be looking at Tav, Suter, either Insial or Proper with Jeffy at left back. I don't think there's enough quality to play the 3 centre halves. I don't see who would be his cover for right back if he decided that he wanted to play Insiala, Proper and Tav as the 3 centre halves. I don't see who the other right back in the building would be for it. I think Connor Barron's kind of sort of shifted over there on a couple of occasions, but I think it forces his hand to go at the back 4. And the back 3 is probably a lot more defensive minded than what we need to be. No disrespect to our opponents, given the fact that we've beaten us the last couple of times we've played them, but I don't think we need to go out to this match with a defensive mindset. I think we need to be looking towards attacking.
No, I think you're right. I think we need to we need to match their intensity. I think it's something against St Mirren, they've sort of been their bogey team really this season, haven't they? And they've always seemed to sort of outmatch us with intensity and dare say application. And it's something we are going to have to try and match them if we want to even get any points away from them. Looking at that injury list, I do think, like you say, I don't think we're going to be going for a back 3. It'll be a back 4. Give Jeff Dillson to slot back into his position at left back. I can see probably proper starting alongside Suter, and then Tav taking this place. Midfield, you'd like to think it'll be Diomande, Raskin, and probably Barn, I think. Or if maybe Hadji gets a nod, obviously because he got his goal, his late goal up at Pataudry. I'm trying to jump into the comments here, see what they say. So Mitch says, today's simple, score goals, get the ball at the net. You think we can do it? You think we can go? Think we get a clean sheet?
It's as much as it's obviously the most important game is the next game you're playing. If he's got any ideas about how he wants to set himself up next week, this is his trial run at it. So if he's got, if he thinks he's going to play a back three next week and go the five across the midfield or the 3-5-2, whatever you want to call that, he needs to have a go at that this week. I think it would be quite daring and brave to just throw it into the mix next week. Although he did that on Jose Mourinho, he surprised him with a formation that nobody was expecting. Obviously, paid dividends out in Turkey. So we don't know. A question mark over the goalkeeper today as well. Does he bring back the supposed number one Butland as well? Does Liam Kelly deserve to be dropped? Probably not.
No.
So that there's a question mark on that side of things as well. If the intention is they want to move Butland on at the end of the season, if that's within that, all eyes will be on us, over the next 5 weeks as far as that's concerned. So, I don't think we would be able to demand as much of a fee for him if we drop him for the last 7-8 games of the season and then turn around and say we're asking for a large transfer fee. We wouldn't be on the dance floor as far as that's concerned. We would be looking to sell him on for a nominal fee, if anything at all. So there's question marks all over the place.
That's it. Like you say at the start there, a lot of these players are playing for their future, or if they want to show they want to be here next season. As Ibrox channel says there, you're looking at Cortez and Danilo. There are two of them. Do you think they'll get a run today? Maybe not start, but maybe get some minutes at least.
I think the Cortez one certainly. I think over the next 5 weeks, the next 5 games, somebody within Rangers needs to justify to the fans why we're going to be outlaying £4 million for this boy come the summer. There's people out there that are screaming, just pay the £4 million and don't even take him, just to don't have him on the wage bill. He's been a victim of circumstance, and I feel sorry for him, but he's possibly get an opportunity over the next few games to actually prove why he deserves to be in a blue jersey. Hopefully, he comes out all guns blazing and shows us what we'll be missing.
Yeah, I know Clement was banging the drum saying that we were going to be paying this money and we were going to be taking him. It's the same with Danilo. We paid a big outlay for Danilo, and I feel sorry for Danilo because of the injuries that he's got, and they're not injuries that are sort of through fault of his own. Like the first one he got with a broken cheekbone, he was putting his body on the line in places where he was going to get goals, and sure he scored the goal from that. And then that shoulder injury he got is just one of those freak ones that could happen to anybody at any time. And then obviously with Desser's goal scoring form, it's kind of kept him out. And then I'm harking back to the Fenerbahce game at Ibrox, but he was all set to come on, take the penalty or extra time, and then Barry didn't bring him on. You can see the frustration there. So I think he's somebody that I think does care. He just needs a run of games. It just needs to sort of get him in that, hopefully even in that shop window, as you say, because I think he's one of those ones that's we need to try and probably move on and try and recoup back what we've paid on him.
Danilo, for me, looking at the other side of things, if I was playing against Danilo, or I was a manager instructing my players to play against Danilo, it'd be very easy to play against, be physical with him. He seems to be a guy that all of a sudden's developed a fear that he's going to get hurt. Once the ball gets to him, he can't get away quick enough. He's wanting to play it first. He's not actually willing to turn and maybe have a dribble and a shot. There's occasions where I've seen him where he should be taking a shot on, getting the ball off his feet and having a crack at goal, and he's looking to pass the ball 3 yards across the goal line. he seems to be a guy that's devoid of confidence. And a guy devoid of confidence is very easy to play against. If you've got the likes of your Alex Gogic, he's going to be playing against today potentially. Alex Gogic will lay one on him and he'll disappear for the rest of the game. You've got to, and I don't know how you fix that, without kind of throwing him about and getting him angry. And, you've got to kind of raise anger from within himself to actually say, look, your career's stalling you. And unless you get a bit of fire in your belly, you're not going to be here next season. I couldn't even tell you where you're going to go. Are you going to disappear out to Greece where the likes of Cifuentes has disappeared to? Are you going to be going out to Mexico and following people like Alfredo Morelos? You've got to sort this out and get yourself going here. You're not going to be here next season.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's a shame because he had a good start to the season as well, didn't he? And he was scoring goals and he was getting important goals and stuff like that. And then it just, these injuries just kind of took it away from him. And then, as you say, maybe he needs to bulk up a bit and maybe increase his physique a bit, maybe make him a bit stronger in that sense so he can put it about himself.
Yeah, we've seen that with Zach Lovelace before he left. Lovelace was obviously constantly struggling with hamstring injuries, and he was very much a kind of a burner where he would be knocking the ball past people and just physical pace. But it looks as if that, decisions within the club where he was going to change his style, where he looked as if he put on a good bit of weight and muscle, and he was going to be, more of a stronger player, more like a kind of a Dashville kind of style of player, where he was a lot more heavier and stronger than he could dare, because the hamstrings just weren't going to support the game that he was previously playing. He was going to constantly keep pinging them. So we should be able to think about that with Danilo as well. Get him into the gym, get a good few kilos on him, bulk him up a wee bit, and see if that takes him anywhere.
Aye, no, I agree there. I'm just looking through the comments here. Hadji's getting a lot of praise. There's chat that they should offer him a new contract. Just what do you think on that? Just out of the blue.
Well, he's made vocally, very vocal that he doesn't want to go. He loves the club and he's there. He's the second longest serving player behind Tavernier. It's going to be up to the new manager at the end of the day what they think of him. He's a reasonably versatile player. There's obviously aspects of his game that still need to work on. I don't know if he'll ever be able to improve them. We've always spoke about his lack of pace. But is it wrong to show the guy at the door that's actually vocally come out and saying, I want to be here? I very much like it when guys come out and say, I want to be there and I want to do the thing. I was disappointed we didn't bring Katic back in January. Likes of a game today, would you rather have Katic in the squad or would you rather have Rafael Fernandez in the squad? So it's stuff like that I like to hear people there. Problem is it's going to come down to money, as it did at the start of the season. I think the agreement to forego the wage increase was on the basis that the option there would be that if we do take the option up to extend the contract by the year, it'll be in the same wages. But that could easily be kibosh because the option's only for an extension of 12 months. If we go to him and say, listen, you're not going to get the pay rise, but we're going to give you 2 years instead of 1 year, what would you say? We'll find out then if he really wants to stay at Rangers or not.
No, that's fair. I didn't realise he had there was an option for an extra 12, but like you say, I mean that whole contract thing at the time was just strange. It's only us could be in that kind of mess with one of our players, with the way the boards handled the whole thing. And credit to him, he knuckled down and just got on with it, didn't he? It's
crazy that we've got an international football player there sitting in a B team, and we're talking literally just a few £1,000s a week. I know a few £1,000s a week is a lot of money, but in comparison to the money that we're flinging down the drain on a regular basis over the last few years, it's not really. And you look at his goal last week against Aberdeen at Pittodrie, when it's their cup final again, and it shows you how important a player he can be if he's in the right frame of mind.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. I think he is somebody that when you see it on the pitch, he does. I think wears his heart in his sleeve. He puts a lot of emotion into that, and you can see that he does enjoy being here. He does enjoy playing for the club, and it's a rarity to see in these days in a Rangers jersey because some of the boys don't look as though they can be half-arsed being here, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought he was decent against Bilbao away as well. I thought he was putting in a right good shift in the left-hand side. He was covering up for a lot of Jeffrey's fealties. Obviously, with the injury to Ridvan and the change of tactics and change of strategy, I thought Hadji was the victim of that when he got taken off at half time. But had Ridvan not got injured, I thought Hadji would have probably played a lot more minutes out there, and I thought he was having a great game, to be honest.
The team's just been dropped, so he's kept Kelly in nets. It's
Okay.
Tavernier, Suter, Proper, and Ciala, and Jeffy. And then Raskin, Rice, Diamande, Egaman, and Dessers.
Okay. See the midfield for me again.
The midfield is Raskin, Rice, and Diamande.
Okay. Okay.
No real surprises there.
No Tierney.
Maybe Rice, just no Tierney. Tierney's on the bench. The bench is Butland, Cortez, Barn, Bajrami, Tierney, Hadji, Curtis, McCallion, and Danilo. So no Tierney.
Let the options to the bench there, things aren't working for him.
Yeah, he has that. You've got plenty there. I suppose it's going to be interesting to see where Egaman's going to fit into this. If they're sticking with the two up front, is that a 5-3-2 then you're thinking?
Well, he's looking. He's probably done Tab at right back, then Ciala, Proper, and Suter. Jeffy. Need to see more out of Jeffy today. He was shocking. He was shocking against Bob Allen, by the way. Absolutely shocking.
I think the level was too high for him. I think he was just
he couldn't defend. He couldn't get up into the final third and contribute anything in the final thirds. Constantly giving the ball away. It's just woeful last week. So I'm very much get my eye on him today. I don't want to say I'm gunning for him because that's unfair on the boy. He's only got his first season, but he needs to pull his socks up for the next 5 games.
I think you're right. I think this is opportunity for him to stake a claim, and if he wants that permanent left back position, he's going to have to use these next 5 games and try and impress.
He wants to be going to the likes of Chelsea and stuff like that. He's been rumoured to go to. He needs to get his finger out.
Yeah, interesting. Rice is there. I like to see more Rice. This is the sort of games that the end of the season sort of games were really ideally we given our youth a run out. So it's good to see him in the team as well. And I'm hoping Egaman isn't pushed out to one of the sides. I want to keep him sort of central because that's where he does his best work and does the most damage.
Yeah.
Interesting to see. What's your going to be your score prediction then?
For that one, I fancy to keep a clean sheet. You know, the volume of defenders that we've got in the park, we should be looking to keep a clean sheet. Let's go 2-0.
You want 2-0, right? Give me goal scores.
Let's go Egaman. I think he'll bag one a day. Big Dessers as well, probably get one a day.
Right. I think it'll be 3-1. I think they're going to score. It'll probably be a calamity or a hailer or somewhere along the way. But I think we'll get goals from Egaman, Dessers, and I think I'm going to say Diamande. I think we'll get a goal from midfield. One with edge of the box shot or something, I reckon.
Yeah. Here we go. Right. They've lost their main striker this week. They sold Lasagna this week.
Aye. I've seen that. Was that the one we were looking at there at the start of the season? I think was it Clement or it was under Clement's.
He's only played one season for him. It's media talk, to be honest. He's been a handful. He's been a handful. He's played against. I think he scored at Ibrox. That game we lost 2-0. You've got to commend their business because he was out of contract at the end of the season. They've actually managed to get a 6-figure fee for him. So you've got to actually commend the business that they've done to bring him in. He's had a decent season for him, and they've lost him the last 5 games for a 6-figure fee. So they've done all right out of that. So tip my hat to them on that one.
No, you're right because he gave the back to a third time. Remember that. Well, thinking that, Jesus, this guy's bullying us here at Ibrox, and it made it look so easy. And then, of course, straight after that, Twitter is full of folk. Well, we should sign him. Look what he's doing. But the goal return probably isn't there as what we'd expect from a striker. But certainly for battering the 2 centre backs and given being a handful, he was certainly that. We'll wrap it up then. Enjoy the game, folks. And then we are back for the post match. I think at 5 o'clock. I think we're scheduled for. So. I'll give a shout out to our sponsors just before I go. It's off to the Match I Go. If you scan the QR code there and you see that you get a 10% promo code if you use Journal 10 at the shopping basket area. And just leave it at that. Hopefully, we'll have a good game today, and we'll get something positive to talk about at 5 o'clock. So I'll see you after, and just remember, every day is a Rangers Journal day. Bye, folks.